insecure, what strategy he has followed apart from our classes as well. Okay, so he's Mehedi Hassan Shurab. Mehedi, welcome. So first of all, congratulations for your excellent result. So Mehedi scored 8.5 overall, but his reading score was 9. Okay, so we are quite keen to listen the tricks and tactics he followed. Okay, so Mehdi, yeah, please start. What's the secret?
Okay. Thank you for giving me the floor. It's First of all, thank you for inviting me to share my journey, especially on reading part, as I have scored 9 out of 9. So today I'm gonna share my journey and my strategies with you, so that you guys could also get benefited by listening to a short video. I think it would be of great help to your IELTS journey. So I would like to focus on three things at the very beginning. Most of us, especially the students from Bangladesh, find it difficult to manage time in IELTS reading, because you have to answer 40 questions in 60 minutes. So I practiced in my home meticulously on this aspect, especially focusing on time management. And secondly, I think it's more than a reading test, it's kind of a vocabulary test. So if your vocabulary is not at that level or at a standard level, then you are certainly not going to get a higher level like a band 8 or 9. It's impossible without a good range of vocabulary. So focus on your vocabulary, and it's not an overnight thing, it takes time. So build your strategy that way, and you have to master the chunks. In English it's called chunks, that means finding out the meanings from the context. So you have to be familiar also with that, and it's really helpful for us. And finally, I would like to request all of you, it's not a suggestion, it's a request, please do find your own strategy for reading module, because everyone has different strategies. Somebody will suggest you that read the passage first and then go to the questions, and I will suggest that please read the question first and then go move to the passages. So this really vary from person to person. So try to be stick with your own strategy, and that will help you. And try to master that strategy more importantly. Like most of the people, I saw that they just learn a strategy from a YouTube video, like where I have said something, you have to look at the questions first and then go to the passage. So one time you try it, like you open up a Cambridge book and you give one test, and this strategy didn't really work out for you, and you think, no, this is not mine. But that should not be the way you are practicing.
Okay, yeah, let me interrupt you for a second. Sorry about that. The strategy you followed, you read the question first, then you read the text. Yeah.
Yes.
I see.
So
that's how you got 9. That's surprising. Okay, that's good. But like usually we tell the people to skim, just give a bird's eye view on the text and read a couple of questions. So that's the 3x formula we follow, especially advanced level students like you, okay, who has got a strong grip on the reading and a strong grip on the vocabulary. So we suggest them to do skimming. Okay, to skim means like read the article really fast. My strong suggestion is not to spend more than 2 minutes. Okay,
exactly.
Just keep it aside view and mark the important question. The important area, important text like proper noun, name of a place, name of a person, any kind of numbers, could be year, date, okay, anything, and even the connecting words could be helpful at some point.
Yeah, of course, I do agree. And
basically, in my class, I suggested the student actually who has got big weakness. I asked them to read the question first, the text. Okay. However, like this strategy worked for you. I'm so glad for that. Okay. And what is it called? Another important thing you have pointed out, that is like everybody's comfort zone is different. So what is it called? So by practicing a lot, you need to find out your own strategy. Okay?
Yes.
So, yes, Mehedi, carry on.
So on that note, like Mohammed Bhai have mentioned, I have read the questions first. So this was basically fixed for passage 1, not for passage 2 and passage 3. For passage 2 and passage 3, I used to look at the questions, but especially on the type of questions I used to find out. So I'd like to mention about two types of questions there, like match heading, and another type was which paragraph contains the following information. So if I would find out that these types of questions normally come in passage 2 or 3, I did never find them in the passage 1. So for passage 1, this strategy worked out, that I'd like to read the questions first and then go to the passage. And it took me around 10 to 12 minutes at max to complete passage 1 for me. So I could have saved plenty of time by doing this. And I never read the passage first for passage 1. But for passage 2, I would like to find out the type of questions first by having a look at the questions but not reading them carefully. So if I would find out there is match heading, so for that I would save some time and read the paragraph, like there are paragraph A to F. So I would read paragraph A and then go to the questions thoroughly. Every questions like 14 to 26, I'd read all of them at a stretch. So for first two passages, this would take some time. It will cost you some time, but after two passages, I think you can remember all of the questions, and it will give you a comfort while you are reading the whole passage, because you have to read the whole passage. You cannot skim and scan for passage 2 and passage 3 if you want to get a band 8 plus. So I think this is very crucial. You cannot just read the questions and come to the passage. Like I have said, that is for passage 1. So that was fixed. You can have all the questions correct in passage 1, but for passage 2 and passage 3, you have to read. And the speed reading, habit of speed reading is very crucial in here. So this was my strategy for passage 2 and passage 3. And I was afraid of the questions, which paragraph contains the following information. And unfortunately, this was also in my real test. So at first I was very afraid, but I tried to remain calm, and hopefully I could read the whole passages and could finish my test 10 minutes before the exam. So the invigilator was just there beside my desk and having a look that I have completed, and while every other was struggling. And at the very end, there was an interesting incident I'd like to mention. One of the candidate mentioned that he never find out these types of difficult questions as he has practiced in his home. He completed all the Cambridge lessons and 1-0 on recent questions, but I was like, what have I done? I have completed 10 minutes before the exam. Maybe I have messed up everything. But finally, when I could see my score, and that I was confident enough, and this strategy really worked out. But the most important thing, you need to read a lot, at least 1 to 2 hours every day for building up your reading
I have
habit.
a question for you. So, what have you practiced? Like, which books have you practiced at home?
Okay, so for me, I have got many suggestions from many Facebook groups, and like Practice Plus, Cambridge Trainer, Official Trainer. So I have tried to practice those books, but I found that especially IELTS Practice Plus, those questions are really difficult. It was very tough. But in the real test, from my experience, I can assure you that the questions in the real test will be of same standard as the Cambridge. So if you can religiously follow the Cambridge test, especially 7 to 15, and you could analyze your answers, so it is very important. I would give exam like in my home. I would give a real reading test in 1 hour, and in the next 1 hour, I would look at every questions, the right one and the wrong ones. Why did I get the question correct, and why did I get the questions wrong? So I did a thorough analysis of every reading test that I have given in my home, and I think this was the biggest strategy of mine, and this really helped me. So in this way, I could get out my strength and weakness, and by finding out my weakness, I worked on that. So I would suggest you to follow the Cambridge religiously and to find out your own strategies, and of course the questions will be of that standard, that's for sure.
Okay, so you are also strongly suggesting that students should, what is it called? Students should analyze the question, right and wrong answers,
Exactly.
where it is correct and where it is incorrect.
Exactly.
So that's gonna like help us to improve our concept about right and wrong answers. Okay,
Exactly.
that's an important point. Thank you for mentioning that. Okay, it wasn't
Thank
on my mind actually. So yeah, but I always ask them to analyze the wrong questions, not the right one. So they got it right. So yeah,
Yes.
so even like sometimes we get the question right, think out of doubt. Okay, sometimes we took a half chance. So I think your formula is best in this sense, case of scenario. Like
Yes.
analyze the question regardless it is right or wrong. I think that's
Exactly. You need to analyze the 40 questions because sometimes you will get some questions right by luck, like you won a lottery. So you just did if you give like five multiple questions, if you give 5A, one or two may be correct, but that doesn't mean you don't need to look at those questions. You need to analyze the right ones and the correct ones, and you need to find out that the way you find the correct answer, whether it was actually correct, whether you did find the information from the correct place of the graph or not, like you have just guessed and make it correct. So in this way your accuracy will improve and you could get a hopefully band 8 plus in reading.
okay. Very good. So what is it called? Did you sit for the computer-based or paper-based one?
Oh, I sit for paper-based academic module. So I think writing is quite difficult in paper-based because if you made some mistake, you need to erase that by using a eraser, and it takes a lot of time. And I have told you on the after I have got my result that I was really awestruck in air conditioning, like after
Yeah.
being 2 hours in there. So I would suggest that everyone who are taking exam, please do bring some warm clothes, like what does it call, a chador, what you use in winter. So just a piece of cloth can help you because
Or
after
you like what is it called? Or just a summer jacket. I think
yeah, yeah, of course
the
it's a
thin
summer
one,
jacket.
not the thicker one. I
Yeah,
think
yes, exactly. So that would help you to keep warm and focus on your writing.
I see. Fabulous. So thank you very much, Mehedi, for your time and for your suggestion. So you have suggested like what is it called? Find out your own strategy and practice from the Cambridge book. Okay.
Yes.
And how many books have you practiced, by the way? Cambridge.
Well, I have practiced Cambridge 7 to 15, and I have done all the listening and reading there, but I couldn't write that much. That's why my writing score could go lower. And I think if I would opt for computer delivered test, my writing score would go up at least 8. I was confident enough, but in the end, I ended up getting 7. So I'd request that please do practice on the real answer sheet of writing,
Mhm.
listening and reading. You can easily get it on the internet. So download that, print it out, and practice it on that answer sheet, not on your uh, rough papers. So that will also eventually help you.
Okay, fabulous. Thank you very much for that. Oh, another thing is I found that computer-based reading is also easier compared to the paper-based. The reason is you can see questions and text in the same screen. Okay, so the paper-based we need to turn the pages. So yeah, that's another benefit of the computer-based. Yeah, computer-based. And you can do the highlight marking the way we do the underlining. So you can do the what is it called? Highlighting the text. Even you can leave a note down there. So this is the benefit of the computer-based one. So
Yes.
yeah. So finally, your suggestion was like practice from the Cambridge book and read the question first. But it depends. Somebody is comfortable with skimming and scanning. Okay,
Yes.
somebody directly go to the question first. Okay, that's the strategy. And third one, you suggested for the what is it called? For the section 2 and 3. Okay, to have a look on the before reading the text. have a look on the text. Sorry, have a look on the
Question types.
Question type. Okay. Yes.
And I'd like to interrupt, like for passages 2 and 3, skimming and scanning is not a good strategy. You need to understand the meaning and the context of the text. Otherwise, you cannot, in no way you could get band 9 in reading. I can guarantee that. If you don't understand the meaning, and I think skimming and scanning don't work, especially for passage 3, because passage 3 is quite tough and complex. So try to get familiar with the sentence structures and try to find out the gist and the meanings from the context. If you don't find out the meaning, then it would be really difficult for you to answer true, false, not given questions, and also the match heading. And if there is sentence ending questions, I found that one of the most difficult types of questions there. So that would be also kind of will make you perplexed in the exam hall. So please be sure that you need to understand the whole text, especially for passage 3 and sometimes also for passage 2. Skimming and scanning may not be the best strategy for passage 2 and passage 3.
Okay, so thank you, Mehedi, but I'm afraid I'm going to disagree slightly over here. Excuse me. The reason is, if you'd like to work on the time, okay, if you are concerned about the timing, okay, still skimming and scanning is a good idea, okay. But however, the very important part is, like, if you find the location of a question, okay, or if you find the location of an answer of the question, you do need to read the question and the text properly, thoroughly. You need to get the entire meaning of the question, okay, and the total meaning of the sentence as well. Okay, keyword matching or just skimming and scanning wouldn't work. You need to go through it in detail. So that's how you get a grip, what is it called, on your reading.
Exactly. I forgot to mention, like, you need to understand the meaning of the question. So I can share my experience on the real test. I was struck with two particular type of question. One was yes, no, not given, and another was sentence ending. So I didn't focus on the passage, like reading the whole passage again and again. Instead of that, I can still remember I read the questions twice and maybe thrice to get the real meaning of that question. So that really helped me to find out the location of that question or the answer in the paragraph. And of course, I do agree with you that skimming and scanning can be helpful. But if you could master speed reading, I think those 600 or 700 words passage can be covered in 1 hour, but it needs a full commitment and dedication. Like I do had backgrounds in English version and English medium of around 11 years from 7 to 12, and then also in my university life, but I did practice 2 months meticulously on completely on IELTS. So it doesn't matter whatever your background is, you need to have your dedication, your effort, and that all counts in your exam.
Okay, lovely. Thank you very much, Mehedi. Thanks for your times and thanks for sharing the valuable information. I'm quite sure it will come handy to many of our students, many of our subscribers on the YouTube and followers on the Facebook. Okay, so folks, thanks for watching, and we will catch you on the next video or next live session with Mehedi. Again, he scored 8.5 in listening and 8.5 in which one? Speaking as well. So in another video, we're going to listen his experience about those modules as well.